back to our van plan. So we've got our sink installed, but nothing's coming out of it because we haven't done the plumbing yet. And this video we are going to be taking you through our attempt at doing some plumbing in the van, which I'm minorly apprehensive about, but we'll see how it goes. We've got a cold water tank underneath the van, and we connected the filler and the feed into the van in a previous video, so check that out first if you want to see how we did that. And then in this video we'll be connecting the cold feed into the van to the various systems here, to our boiler for our hot water and the sink here, and also a shower point at the back of the van. And then we will have obviously a hot water feed coming off of the Truma boiler to the sink and the shower as well. So it's a relatively straightforward system, but I've never done anything like this before, so we'll give it a go and see what happens. So just as a recap then, we've got our filler hose down underneath the van, which will fill the tank there. That's going to be mounted here by the rear doors eventually, and then just behind it we've got the cold water in feed, which is coming up again from the tank underneath into the start of the system. And then the start of the system is here, so we've got the filter, we've got the SureFlow pump, 12 volt pump, and we've got an accumulator before it will continue through the van system there. And what we want to do is basically mount those to the back of this piece of wood here, and then we'll have the cold water feed going through into the kitchen and the Truma, hot water within there coming back out again, and then we're also going to have a shower point here at the back. And then in here you can see hopefully a lot of stuff. So I've got the John Guest 12mm flexible pipe, and then we're in here absolutely tons of fittings, elbow joints, connectors and so on, which hopefully are going to be the right amount of things that I need to build this system as we put it together. So we'll be tackling the first part is going to be mounting the pump here, getting that all together, the initial connection into the van, and then getting the cold water feed through to the Truma and the sink. So I've got a switch ready on the side there, just down there, for the 12 volt supply to the Shore pump, so I can isolate that. And I've got these fitted in place. The feed from the van tank is coming up into the bottom of here through the filter. So now I need to run the cold out from here to a T-join. I don't know if you can see that I'm using these inserts in the end of the pipes just to give them extra strength and rigidity. I think typically you can use them in the hot water because that can then obviously heat up and get more supple and cause problems, but I've got enough of them, so I'm going to use them in every join, I think, just to make sure. So I've cut this piece, which is going to become our T there, so push fit that, and then push fit this end. Perfect. It's been difficult to show you this, but I show you what I've done. So the cold feed comes through over here, and then it splits and goes. One goes through into the cupboard there for the tap, the other one comes through down on the bottom, I don't know if you can see that, to the Truma. Then in the cupboard the cold water feed comes in, connects to the tap, and the hot water is next to it waiting to be connected, and the hot water comes from the top of the Truma, splits there to the tap, and one will go back that way to the shower at the back of the van. Now I've run out of the rigid inserts for the pipes, annoyingly, because I ordered 20 and I probably needed 30, which is annoying, so I've got to order those, wait for them to arrive, then I continue along with the last bits of the hot water before I can start to think about commissioning it and giving it a test. I'm just planning what I'm going to do with the boxing in around here, so I want these hidden, so I'm going to build a frame round so I can have some ply just covering the front of them, probably carpet it and just make it all nice. But what I will do is cut out a hole here, an access point, so we can access the filter and the isolator switch here, and then the rest of it will kind of come up to here, back to there, so there's a bit of space on top, and then round to the right as well. The frame will come out along over the wheel arch where I'll have the shower point and the filler. So I'm going to build a frame for this part, and then the second part, and then cut the ply and finish it in carpet and fix it in place. Building the final bit of boxing in here. This is where the filler is going to go, somewhere around, oops, like that, and the shower point below. I'm also going to have a cutout here because there's quite a lot of storage space in this area that I want access to, so I'm going to have a cutout here, which is why I've carpeted the wheel arch to make it look a little bit nicer, so we can shove some stuff in there, and then we'll have access to the shower isolation valves as well. So now I just need to do the side piece, the end piece and the top piece, and we'll use the vinyl flooring for cover that to give a bit of contrast to the carpet, and also it's waterproof. We decided to go with this bullfinch external shower point for ease of use, and it comes with these 15mm copper brass or whatever they are feeds for the hot and cold. So I was struggling to find how best to connect this to the push fit system, so I found these things which were 15mm to the 12mm push fit. However, obviously we can't hold them on there, so what I'm going to do is just use a bit of the hose that I've got with some of these Jubilee clips to hold that in place, to then connect into here so that the John Guest push fit can then clip into this point, and that should be fine. Here, bit of a weakness in the system potentially, but it should be okay. We're also going to include these shut-off valves for both the hot and cold to the shower as well, so we can isolate it and only switch it on when we are ready to use it. Okay, change of plan. I bought these John Guest 15mm flexible hoses. I've got the 15mm push fit connection on the end there, and so I've put in the 15 to 12mm adapter at that end. They push nicely onto the end of the shower point there, so yeah, they're perfect, and it means I can bring down the pipe work a little bit to match up with the feed from the front there. So I will connect that in now with these little isolator switches, and then that's the shower ready. So the time has come to commission the water system. I've got absolutely tons of towels on standby. Before I do that, I'll just run through what we've got and what the setup is, and then the first test is to fill the tank, make sure that fills okay, and then the second test is to bring the water into the van and make sure all the taps, shower point and everything else is working as expected and there are no leaks. So let's have a look around and see what we've done, and then we'll attempt to fill the van. So our water filler is here, which comes all the way down underneath the van, loops into the tank underneath the van, and then there's a water inlet pipe here with a shut-off switch at this point, goes into the pump, accumulator, and then runs through to the treatment boiler and the tap at this end, and then the shower point at this end, which is this bullfinch shower point here. And then the hot water from the truma comes out, feeds the tap in the kitchen, and then comes this way to feed the shower point. I've included some isolator valves there as well for the shower, so we can completely decommission this end of the water system and just keep it in the kitchen. And then inside you can see the cold water feed coming in, splitting in two with a one-way valve to feed the truma boiler, which is here, and then the other way goes through into the sink, cupboard under the sink, up to the tap at the top, and then the hot water feed comes out of the truma and then splits to the kitchen tap and then all the way back to the shower point there. So everything seems to be okay. I've tested all the connections, so let's try and fill the water tank. Right, to test whether the tank is actually filling up, I've got the drain valve here, which if I turn that, it's coming out, so we know the tank is getting water, which is good news. Ow. So next check, I've got my water gauge here, so if I press that, I've put quite a lot of water in, so hopefully it'll be at least a quarter of the way. Yes, you see that yellow light lit. The tank is quarter full, so it's going in. The gauge is working, so I think it's time to switch the pump on and pray. Okay, moment of truth, towels everywhere, Neil on standby in the kitchen. I'm going to open the feed from the tank and switch the pump on, and we'll see what happens. Anything? Okay, so minor panic. We've got a few drips coming from this arm of that splitter, and everything looks like it's in okay, so that's a bit disappointing. I also had a bit of a leak down where the truma cold feed is, but I think I've sorted that one, so I probably just need to undo all of this and try and reconnect it, but I'm worried there's going to be a shit ton of water coming out of there, so I'm going to have a think about that. And then I think once I can get that sorted, we should be okay. Cold water's coming through okay. Don't seem to have any leaks this side, but there was something weird going on with the hot water there, so that's what we're keeping an eye out on. Okay, so filming and flooding don't really go well together, but we had a few little drips from some of the cold connections, which would just mean not really pushing them all the way in, so I sorted those out. And then the big one was coming from the hot connector, and I think I'd just done the bit between this elbow joint here that goes back towards the truma just a little bit too short, so I wasn't able to get that full connection. Anyway, so I've taken it apart, cut a longer piece, which should give it a lot more play and opportunity to push together to make a better fit. So I'm going to connect these outside first, tap screws onto the top of that, and then I can just push this through and connect this on the truma side, and then we'll give it another go. Okay, I think we're all good. Leaks seem to be okay so far. The pump is now on, it's primed, so it's off, if that makes sense. So let's try the cold water. All good, can hear the pump come on. And now the hot water should be coming via the truma. Yep. So it's obviously not, I haven't turned the truma on yet, but it's behaving as expected. And again, everything down here is looking okay. So what I want to do now is quickly test the shower attachment at the back. I've got this ready, so if I undo these, theory, if you can see that. Oh, outdoor shower, which is, that's hot, that's cold, that's off. Need to learn how to use this, but at least it works. Pretty pleased with that, and there everything dries so far. This is definitely the most stressful part of the build. Cool, right, I'm going to isolate those again. So we're just dealing with one part of the system. Yeah, all good I think. So it's true what everybody says, the plumbing is the most stressful part of the build, purely because if it goes wrong, it's going to go really wrong. Thankfully though, we did okay with a few little drips and minor leaks that have been addressed and fixed. It's been actually working really well for us. It's a relatively simple setup anyway, which is good. And the John Guest push fit 12mm plastic pipes also work really well when they're fitted correctly, as I now know. But overall, we're really pleased with the setup we've got here. Yes, we don't have an in-van shower, but to be honest, we're going to probably be staying at campsites quite a lot anyway, and then worst case we have got the little shower at the back there. If we get a bit of tarpaulin around the doors, it should be fine. So yeah, kind of options, that's what we wanted really, particularly as the van is a little bit smaller than others. So yeah, I hope you found this useful. I think this video is probably the last one in the van build series, can you believe it? Pretty much finished, just doing some minor bits and pieces now, some trimming, things like carpeting in the cupboards to make them look nice, and stuff like that. So really that's it. It's kind of crazy that it's almost over. The next video I think will be the full van tour, which I'm really excited to do, to show you exactly what we've done, and I'll also cover some of the electrics as well, which I haven't actually filmed what I've done there, but I'll talk you through what we've got in the van. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. If you have found this video useful, then please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel, because we will continue to post content on here as we add new stuff to the van, and also sharing some of our trips. And also don't forget to check us over on Instagram at @ourvanplan for all the latest, and we'll see you in the van tour video very soon.